let's now also record. Oh yeah, automatically this is recording. Okay. Perfect. So I think that we can start. Well,
Okay, so good morning, everyone. We want to thank the Women's Resource Center and the Dive into Reading Initiative for inviting Unidos Now to share with our partners, parents, anybody in the community who is watching this presentation, how Unidos Now has been planting the seeds for higher education all these years. My name is Luz Corcuera. I am the Executive Director of Unidos Now, and today are joining me my colleague Lisbeth Oscuvilca. She is our Family Engagement Director, and one of our alumni, Lucero Guzman, who is a former Future Leaders Academy scholar. Thank you both for joining us this morning. So I would like to start by giving a little bit of information about Unidos Now. Lizzie, if you want to share the slides,
sure.
that will be the perfect time. Unidos Now was founded 10 years ago with the idea of elevating the quality of life of Latinos in the region. Our vision is empowering Latinos to achieve the American dream through education, integration, and civic engagement. We have a small team that is mighty at the same time because we've been able to accomplish really great results in the area. Um, as you can see on this slide, we have very talented people and have consultants with vast experience in higher education. And of course, Unidos Now has a board of directors. Two of the co-founders of Unidos Now are Kelly Kushner, who is the current board chair, and CJ Saya, who is a board member, Kathy Shersten, Frankie Soriano, and Karen Naranjo. All these people are very passionate about the Latino community, and they've been instrumental in the success of Unidos Now. When we look at the gap in the performance in the area of education, we can see that only 21.5% of the Latinos over 20, over the age of 25 have attained a two-year degree or higher. That's why we focus our efforts in trying to encourage people very early on to pursue higher education. Our goal is to make sure that every person who comes to our doors understand that our vision is it starts with the basics, which is English literacy. We want to make sure that people are able to use their voice and their views without having to depend on their children, and that they pursue education attainment from kindergarten all the way to post-secondary path. Post-secondary path defined as either a four-year college degree, two-year college degree, or high-quality certification. Education will lead people into socioeconomic advancement, political integration, residential integration, and social integration. Our slogan is educate, elevate, integrate. For that matter, in Unidos Now, we've been building sustainable impact. And our primary target at the moment is elementary school, middle school, and high school, where we have programs that provide the students the tools to dream big so that they can achieve post-secondary education. Right now, our Future Leaders Academy has 67 students in both tracks, career readiness and college prep. We want to make sure that the students are successful in pursuing their goals that are aligned with their passion, their skills, and the career that they want to pursue in the future. I'm gonna let my colleague Lisbeth talk about what we are doing in the elementary school.
Well, thank you, Luz. And now everyone can say, but why you need us now start preparing parents and the students to get ready for a post-secondary education in elementary school? Why so early? So, and here we have some reasons why. Because at elementary school, parents are role models, and children always are looking up to the parents, or sometimes an aunt or grandparents if they live with them. We, the adults, are really like the pop star idols for them, and they are going to follow our opinions and our suggestions. Just to give you an example, I was years old. I remember when my father already told me that I need to go to college, and he already showed me the school that I need to go. And indeed, I accomplished all of that. And just because I follow his suggestion and also I care about his opinion, and he was supporting me all the way until I succeed with this goal. In elementary school, it's time to build foundations for the future. Children are really eager to learn anything, sometimes even when the conditions are not ideal. And reading is one of the main foundations that needs to be mastered during elementary school. Mastering reading skills will translate in academic success in middle and high school. Unidos now also help the students to develop skills and abilities. Children are really curious by nature, and we nurture that curiosity, and we bring activities where we develop skills like solving problem, teamwork, observation, and perseverance. We also help develop passions and stimulate exploration. This is the time when the students can appreciate the variety of learning experiences. They want to try anything, and we just expose them to different educational and recreational activities. This is the right time where they can start learning about things that they like or don't like. So, and that's important in order to, in the future, to choose a career path that fits their personality. And as also you can see in the picture, families can start learning about school and community resources. Family members want to give their kids the best support with what they have available. But sometimes what parents have available is not enough to increase the educational success of their students. This is why Unidos now support the parents and give them information about the school system in the US, making them aware of the resources that the school offer to their kids. And also they learn about the resources that community partners like Women Research Center offers to them. And because our families, they sometimes they have a barrier that is the English skills. What we are trying to do is make an effort to present the content in Spanish so they can understand all the information that we are giving them. And so what's happening in our programs? And like Luz mentioned in our elementary school, from elementary, middle, and high school, our students are learning about the type of colleges: a technical school, a two-year school, a four-year college. As you can see in this picture, this little girl, she is a third grader. She already learned about Colorado College. And not only that, but she used that time to learn about geography, and she identified where Colorado is located in the US map. So this is a very interesting activity for the students because they are just not learning about colleges, but also they are learning other things on the way. Also, in our programs, the students are learning how easy or difficult it is to get accepted to those colleges. Students uh, are learning different prices that they need to pay for college. And something very interesting that I noticed during the meetings with parents is that most parents, including myself, thought that public college means not pay for tuition and you don't need to pay fees. Because in many of the Latin countries, students don't pay for their college education when they heard the word public. But here is different, and that's something that also parents they need to understand early on. Our students from the beginning in elementary school are learning that college is not cheap, and they are learning that they need to work hard in order to have access of a higher education. With all this information, our students are taking more educated decisions, and just nothing is random for them. Another component in all our programs, including our elementary school, as you can see here in the pictures, is career exploration. While our elementary school students, that in this moment we are just working with girls, but sometimes the girls also, they bring their brothers into the classes. So they are exposed to careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, because we like to see more Latina women taking leadership position in science careers. I like to mention that we are proud to have our first robotic team that represented Manatee and Sarasota County in coding and robotics competitions. And the great news is that the 90% of the members are girls. In the case of our middle school students, they are taking at the beginning of the program personality test to help them learn about their interests and their strengths, with a goal to explore a large amount of careers that they maybe never heard of. But with the help of these tools, they can research more in depth for more career options. And for our high school students, career exploration is more targeted. Depending on their intention to pursue a specific career, we match students with businesses or professionals to experience pros and cons of the career. And our high school students have at least 2 years to explore different areas if they are not certain of what they want to study. And Unidos Now is proud to say that we are working with a two-generation approach. And parents, and sometimes the whole family, they participate in our sessions. Like we said at the beginning, we, the parents, are the role models. And even though when our students in high school, sometimes they don't want to talk to us or they don't want to share their thoughts, they still ask you for your opinion. This is why our parents from elementary all the way to high school programs participate on regular meetings where they are learning about the education in the US, about colleges, financial aid, volunteering, and English literacy. During these sessions, we bring admission officers from colleges, financial aid officers as well. We also bring parents with children that are already in college to share their experiences, partner organizations to talk about parenting and children development. We create an environment of solidarity, community, and they feel that this is a safe place for many of them. And they just sometimes come to share their successes and frustration with the adaptation process to a new culture. And like our vision mentioned, we empower the Latino community to achieve their American dream. And our families are learning that giving back is one way to feel empowered and to support their community for them to have also access to a good future. Two good examples, as you can see here in the pictures, here on the left. So we have our student, our former student from the high school program. During COVID-19, our young students, like Melissa here on the left, they struggle a lot with the online classes at home. And our high school students that are most familiar with this way of education jump quickly to help and tutor the students in their academic stress. Meanwhile, parents, as you can see here on the left, start supporting each other, bringing food or other resources to other families that needed help. Also, this mom here on the left, Marisela, she now is willing to be part of her neighborhood committee in order to bring the voice of the Latino community and their neighbors in order to collaborate with all the neighbors to provide opportunities for the Latino families. College tours here, as you can see here on the right. So all the families, college tour is one of the big components across all of our programs because we bring the whole family to visit colleges, and it's incredible. And you can see how inspired not only the students um, and with the visit to college, but also the parents. Some of them already are deciding to go back to college and start with a new career. And we finally, we partnered with organizations like Florida Studio Theater, Selby Gardens, Wrigley Museum, a solo repertory to open their doors and have special programs for our families with a goal for these families to enjoy art, history, and use culture. Here on the left, you can see we have families that visited Florida Studio Theater. And this is another way that our students explore different areas and maybe they can find their passions just going to the museum or a theater. Some of them, they would like to develop theater or singing. And that's very important for us also, for all of them to get exposed to these different areas. So now, and I know that many of you have been waiting for this. So now, how do we save money for college? And I heard a lot of parents that right away they give us the answer, oh yeah, I heard about scholarships. Please, do you have a list of scholarships that you can give us so we can, that way we can pay for the college of my children? But we need to say that that's not the only way. And Unidos now is working really hard to show you really the different options that you have available. For instance, how you can start saving money when your students are elementary school. And this is one way. If your students can start taking advanced classes, so that is going to translate in the future for free money. So why? So why is that translate in free money? Because if your students since elementary school are taking advanced classes because they are really doing great. So they have good grades, they don't have problems with the classes, and sometimes they would like to be challenged. So let's give them the opportunity. Ask to the school administration if they offer advanced classes. So when they are in middle and in high school, the students are going to take more advanced classes and they are going to be ready, like in number 2, to take college credit classes. And what does that mean? That a student, when they finish high school, they are going to earn credits for college classes. And when they get accepted to a specific college, they don't need to pay maybe for 4, 5, or even 6 classes. And that means that that money is not coming out of your pocket. So because we, all the people that we are paying our taxes, we already pay for that education during their high school. The other way that families can start paying for college is maybe to start thinking right now, if you have kids in elementary school and middle school, open a saving account as early as elementary school so that can start accumulating. And that's another way that you can have money for your children's future. So now this is very interesting. Maybe some of you are for the first time going to hear about the ACT and SAT. These are college admission tests. But what does that mean? Preparing for those tests, am I going to have money to pay for college? And the answer is yes. Our UnidosNow students and parents are learning that these tests are really important to get access to federal and state money. For instance, Florida Bright Future is a state money, and they are giving money that they don't need to pay back if the students are having a higher score in those tests, in addition of the GPA, so they need to also have a good scores. Another way is on you need for those students or parents that they have their students in their last year, FAFSA, please remember that word. This is the federal state, the federal money, the federal free money. And parents, if you are not paying your taxes, we highly recommend to start doing it because that's a way that you are going to help your students to get money from the federal government. It's up to close to $6,000 that you can get from the government to pay for your children's college. So that's another way that you can have money. And the last two ones are related. Most people, when we are telling our students and parents, you need to start building a network in your school and community. And most students are asking why it's important. So why do I need to do that? I am really a shy person. I don't want to do that because like you mentioned at the beginning, scholarships, you heard about scholarships. Most of the good scholarships that can give you really a good amount of money, they will ask you for a letter of recommendation from a teacher or maybe a community leader. And if our students, they didn't take the time to learn, to meet their teachers at the school or do volunteer activities out of school, maybe at church, at the hospital, at the library. So they are not going to be able to show their skills and their personality to these people, and they are not going to be able to receive a good letter of recommendation. So remember, just is for the scholarship is not just to apply. So they are going to request sometimes your scores on this college admission test, a letter of recommendation, and that's how you can get good scholarships. And well, and this is how you can save for money. And I think that that will be end the presentation about our programs and how to save money for college. And I think that now we are going to let Luz open the questions for attendees. Luz, if you unmute.
Thank you so much, Lisbeth. I think you have conveyed really important information um, to anybody interested. If you have missed this presentation, it's being recorded, it's live on Facebook, and you can always ask your questions. We want to make sure that we emphasize that financial aid like FAFSA and scholarships are available for any post-secondary institution. It's not only for universities, it's also for local community college and some other careers. So parents, it is important that FAFSA opens October 1st, but you need to make sure that your taxes are filed, and the deadline has been extended to July 15 this year. So make sure that you file your taxes so that when October 1st opens FAFSA, you should be the first ones to apply. It is important because it will really determine whether your child, your son or your daughter can access almost $6,000 that it's free money. I want to make sure that you understand that this is not a loan, this is not a grant, this is free money. And unfortunately, in Sarasota and Manatee counties, we have not taken full advantage of that money available. People think that when FAFSA opens October 1st, they have until March to complete a FAFSA application. That's not true. The money runs out. You need to be the first ones to apply for FAFSA. So when October 1st hits, make sure that you have your tax information, you have your ID, and your account open so that you can apply for FAFSA. It takes less than 20 minutes to complete the application. And if you have any questions, you can access the College and Career Advisor's office in the school where your son or daughter is attending, or you can reach out to us at UnidosNow, see our website to find out if we have any community workshops that are being offered where you can get assistance to complete your FAFSA application. I also want to make sure that if people have any questions about how early you need to start thinking about post-secondary education, you've heard every reason that Lisbeth has shared with all of you. It's never too early. If it was my choice, I would talk to the pregnant women in the maternity wards about thinking post-secondary education. It is important that we all, one, achieve our dreams, go after our goals, and then find a career that we are going to be satisfied for life. Not a job, but a career that is fulfilling, that is rewarding, meaningful, and impactful. And lastly, I want to say that we are very proud of our accomplishments over the 10 years that Unidos now has been in existence. Our students have a 100% college attainment, and just the last group that participated in our decision day, they all are going to college, and together they earn $2.8 million in scholarships and grants. And our students are going to selected colleges such as Yale, Barnard College, Cornell University, University of Florida, Vassar College, some other colleges with really significant scholarships and financial aid. So think about that as a family and take advantage of all the tools and opportunities that are used. I want to encourage you that if you have any questions, first watch the video, watch the presentation on Facebook, and if you have any questions, you can send us an email to info at unidosnow.org, or you can send an email to Lisbeth at unidosnow.org, or to myself at luz at unidosnow.org. And I want to thank again the Family Resources for the opportunity to give this presentation. I don't see any questions in the Q&A box, so we're gonna just perhaps if Lucero wants to say something from the perspective of her own experience being a first generation college student and how your immigrant parents came here with you when you were a young girl. If you want to give some final thoughts, Lucero, please unmute yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lucero, and I am an FLA scholar. So I went through the program that Unidos now has for high school students. And my family came to the United States when I was 1.5. And I have an older brother too, who was about 4. So we kind of grew up here, but we didn't know a lot about the education system here, especially my parents who lived pretty much their entire lives up to that point in a different country. So when we were younger though, my parents always were very strict on us about educating ourselves, going to school, being persistent, and always telling us that we were capable, we could do it. We would go to college, even if there were obstacles in the way. And I think that ties a lot to what Lisbeth was saying and Luz about how important it is to think about education from a young age, because that's how it started with me. I knew I wanted to go to college since I was young, and it really helped me that my parents didn't give me an option. They told me that that's how it was going to be because I deserved it and I could do it. And so going through the program at Unidos Now helped us to understand how, because we knew we wanted to, we didn't know how. And I think that's probably how a lot of families feel. So taking advantage of these resources like Unidos Now and giving everything you have when you're in programs like this will really help students to find their path, to find a college that is the best fit for them. And it's programs like these that help families like mine and like a lot of families out there to pursue higher education.
Well, thank you so much, Lucero. And you're a living example of how dreaming big and working hard, compounded with your talent, is paying off. Well, we do appreciate again the opportunity, and it will be until next time. And if you want to learn more about Unidos Now, visit our website, unidosnow.org. Thank you again.
Thank you and have a great day.